If we're all ready at the back, we'll kick off with Paul from Sky Sports.
Thank you. Hi, Mikel.
Hi.
Mikel, what's the update on Nwaneri?
Unfortunately, he's picked up an injury. He's going to be out for a few weeks.
What type of injury is it?
Muscular injury. Yeah.
And Kai Havertz, is he back for the Newcastle game?
I hope so, but I don't want to say yes because last time I said I think he was going to be fit and then he wasn't fit.
Are you still having some issues with the illness in the squad?
Yeah.
Can you...
No.
Has it impacted on other players? Could you be missing other players?
Hopefully not. Hope so.
It obviously has reached the semi-final stage of this competition. How much importance have you placed on what the first major domestic trophy of the season with the players?
I'm very excited to play the game in front of our crowd. A semi-final, an opportunity to earn the right to be in a final, and it starts tomorrow. It's 2 legs. Obviously, it's going to be 2 long games against a very competitive team. We know that, but very excited, and we need a big atmosphere in our stadium.
What do you think winning this competition would do for the squad?
I don't know. We have to win tomorrow. We're still far, so try to be better than the position and win the game.
Alexander Isak is obviously a player right in form for Newcastle. Have you an idea how to stop him? Is he a player you like?
Yeah, obviously he's a top player. He's in top form, scoring a lot of goals, and yeah, try to minimize the strength of the position. That's obviously a big part of the plan when we're playing any opponent.
I guess a boost as well. Bruno Guimaraes suspended. When you think of the midfield trio and form.
I think about my players and the ones that we have available, get the best out of them.
The Brighton penalty at the weekend. I just wanted to ask you about that. And do you think penalties being given like that would it make centre backs nervous about attacking the ball in their own box?
I don't know. I gave my opinion. Unfortunately, we played twice Brighton. One for no reasons, 45 minutes with 10 men, and another one with a penalty. That clearly is not a penalty, but that's the conditions that we played, and we cannot change it now.
Do you feel, I was going to say compared to last season, with the injuries you've had and maybe the illness recently as well, it feels like you're in a bit more bad luck compared to last season? With that in mind, and Nwaneri is the latest injury, is there any chance you would maybe look to add to the squad before the end of this month?
That hasn't changed. Again, the focus is on our players. Whatever is in the market, we are very alert. But the priority is working with the players that we have at the moment, and tomorrow night, which is a big night for us.
It's not a no.
Sorry?
It's not a no.
It's not a yes, it's not a no. Thanks to you.
Hi, Mikel, how are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Injuries, illness, suspensions?
Semi-final, positive things. Let's go. Yeah, let's go. It's not snowing today.
Yeah, it's not snowing today, yeah.
Good.
But it's over 2 legs. The number of games we have should just be like every other cup competition, really. Just one game.
It doesn't matter. 2 beautiful games to play.
But in your opinion, it would be one game that you could lose.
My opinion doesn't count, unfortunately. So we have 2. If I have to pick one and a home, yeah. If you give me the chance, that's what I would like.
Newcastle have been a difficult team for you to play against recently. They're on a really good run of form at the moment. What has Eddie Howe done differently over the last month or so?
I don't know. That's a question for him. It's a tough opponent for everybody because they are a really good side. They are really well coached. They have really good individual players. The same as it's difficult to play against us.
Just 2 final ones on referees. First of all, VAR, we're now going to, during these semi-finals, actually hear what the referee says, commute around the stadium. Is that a positive way forward for VAR so that everybody is involved, the fans get to hear what the referees are saying? Are you looking forward to how it's going to work?
Yeah, I think any decision that brings clarity, and the communication is clear and transparent, I think is helpful.
Finally, your Brighton penalty of the weekend, I'm not going to ask you specifically about that, but Joel Linton, the ball hit his hand before Newcastle scored on Saturday. There were lots of instances across the whole weekend where there were penalties given, red cards maybe not given. How hard is it now for a top manager like yourself to coach your players on what the laws of the game are, what they can concede a penalty for, what they could get sent off for, when everybody looks at it and everyone has a different opinion and seemingly nobody really understands it.
Work by the rules and try to coach what it's on the rules, and then obviously there is a part of that rules which is interpretation, and it's not easy for the referees at all times to make that call, and we understand that, and coaching differently, I think it's impossible because we don't know.
Not easy for referees, is it? Not easy for you as well?
No, sometimes to coaching, no, because we don't coach any player to have the arms away from his body or just to kick the ball when you don't know that the opponent is away from you. It's very difficult to coach that. So it's difficult for everybody, I think.
George, BBC?
Mikel, you're being very positive, semi-final of the Cup, as you say, and you're doing well in the Champions League, second league. But have you enjoyed this season as manager? Because it feels quite tested.
I love it. I mean, we are in all the competitions. We are where we want to be, and in most of them, obviously in the league, for a lot of circumstances, we are not where we want to be, which is top. I understand that, and that willingness to be better every single day, to try to improve, and don't look for excuses, because in anything that you do, you look for excuses. You're going to find them. These are challenges. These are situations that we are facing, and we are trying to do the very best to overcome them and still be a really good team.
How do the players feel about what's going on? Because it feels like every press conference we're going to, we're asking you about another injury. And are you having to keep them up, or are they just confident and aware of the problems they're going through?
No, we discuss about the situation, obviously, and the fact that we have to utilize players in position probably they haven't played before. But we are learning a lot from that, and what I learned especially about the willingness of the team. You speak to any individual and ask him to play anywhere on the field, I'm there, so that's great as well to learn from your players.
Just a word on Kieran Tierney, potentially going back to Celtic. I just wondered if you could give us an update on that.
There is absolutely no news. Kieran is our player.
Simon Standard?
Mikel, just on the injuries, can you remember a run like this since you've been here?
I don't. Probably not. No, probably not.
And in terms of, I know you talk about the sort of challenge of moving players around, but how, in your years you've had here, how hard has this been tactically in terms of coming up with solutions compared to what we've had to do before?
Again, a very good learning process. Not only tactically, it's preparation, training with very few players. Today we had 7-8 players with us just to fill the squad, which is unknown. But it's a way to learn as well. So this is how I take it. I cannot change it. So let's take the things that we can get out from them to be better.
And could I ask you one on Mikel Merino? How do you feel his sort of adaptation to the team is going? How much more do you feel there is to come from him?
Yeah, I think the last 2 weeks he's made a big stride there. Obviously, he had more continuity, more minutes. Physically, he's in a much better place. He missed the whole preseason, then he missed a lot of weeks with the injury, and you can tell that he's growing.
Tom for London?
Hi.
To look at semi-final, how does the preparation for a game change when you know you've got an away fixture following a home one in quick succession?
Well, similar to the Champions League, but the aim is always to win the game, to be better than your position and earn the right to win the game, and that's not going to change because we have a lot of games.
And just one on January quickly. The threshold for Arsenal to sign a player is rightfully very high. But when in January you have to be quite reactive, does that threshold loosen at all?
In terms of the quality of the level?
Yeah, in terms of like what you move for in terms of a player.
Hopefully not, because we set very high standards, and we really want to have only players here where they are coming from the academy, or we have to sign those players to really elevate and impact the team. Otherwise, I think bringing bodies, it doesn't help us.
Jordan, Athletic?
Mikel, you've spoken about the importance of the Emirates creating memorable nights, creating that atmosphere that you've always wanted. It's interesting whenever you go to St James's or Anfield, the other two stadiums, you seem to really admire the atmosphere, how it can go from 0 to 100. Is tomorrow night one of those nights where you're hoping that the Emirates can have that effect on?
Yeah, but I admire the Emirates the most, 100%. The way we can feel at the Emirates with our people is incredible, and I'm very positive that tomorrow we're going to create a big one against a really good opposition in the semi-final of the Cup that we want to win. So let's go for it.
You had 9 games in January this year. I think it was only 3 last year. No winter break obviously this time. We all know how well he's came back from Dubai last year. Do you think that was a mistake in the scheduling not to have it this year?
Well, certainly would have helped, I think, every team and especially the players. Because we are putting more games in the back of 2 seasons that they've been as well really, really high in terms of numbers and demands to the players. But we knew from the start, that if you are in every competition, you're going to get that break, and that's how we prepare it as well.
The number of games you're having to get through every 3 days, is that affecting how your team are able to play for 90 minutes? Is it impossible with intensity in the Premier League to play 90 minutes at your A-game pressing? Is that why maybe when you've been leading, Arsenal maybe dropped off because it's impossible now to do that?
Sometimes it's great to the opposition as well. Obviously, physically extremely demanding, and the way we play as well. When you have less players and less capacity to rotate, becomes more difficult. But the idea and the aim is to be able to sustain that.
Phil Pierre at the back there.
How disappointing was it for you? Because obviously you played so well against Brentford and looked so good against Brighton. It must be such a blow for him.
Yeah, we didn't really know, to be fair. So he said, I'm feeling something, I don't really know what is it. So yeah, obviously he has earned the right to step up and play for us and now start some games, some big games as well, and impact those games in the way that he's done in different positions as well. So yeah, I got it for him because that's gonna stop a little bit that, but it's another step in that development phase that he's in. But really happy with the way he's going.
Any closer to know when Raheem will be back?
Yeah, hopefully very soon. Yeah.
Okay, guys, that finishes the live. We'll now go to 10:30 tonight.